Better press play. God.
And we're live. Try to behave yourself, Pat.
I can't. I'm fully engorged. I'm fully engorged.
Why, Pat? Why would that be? Is it maybe because after months in the desert, we have found our salvation in Broncos free agency?
Lucas Kroll is back, baby. Lucas Kroll is back. We're safe.
Best player on the team. It's about time. This is altitude adjustment.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to what is widely considered to be the best Broncos podcast available. Certainly top 37, because I think that's about how many Broncos podcasts there are now. But I assure you, for better or for worse, there is no other podcast quite like this with myself, Mario Vitanzi, and that handsome bastard over there, Patrick Chiotti. The Mile High Meatheads, as we are affectionately known. Pat! So good to have you back. You might have noticed last week, I needed to cope a little bit with my own feelings. I was feeling really down in the dumps because, you and I had done this exercise of what we would do during the offseason as Sean Payton and George Payton. And I felt like we had done a better job up to this point, Pat, like everything that we did. And if you're interested, go back on the LTB YouTube page and check out what Pat and I put together as GMs. And I think that's why I was so discouraged, because it's like Pat and I built this in a cave with a box of scraps. But you know what we were not able to execute on that fateful day, Pat? A trade for Jaylen Waddle. Now, before all this happened last week, I had Ryan Edwards on to basically calm me down and put my mind at ease. And it worked until Ryan had to leave, because I didn't want to take too much of his time. It's Ryan Edwards. He's the hottest commodity in all of Denver Broncos sports talk. Mm-hmm. And after he left, I started to spiral a little bit. And it was kind of a therapy session for me. Where I was pretty much just venting to a few thousand people. And it made me feel better, but at the same time, it made me feel worse because I have such high expectations from this team. And that's kind of been my theme, Pat, is like, I was upset. You were upset. Fans were upset because of the expectations. Yeah. They expect this team not just to win the AFC West again, not just to go to the playoffs again, but to go to a Super Bowl and potentially win one. These are now the expectations. Anything short of that is considered a disappointment. So isn't it right that we expect more from the GM, more from the head coach? And thank God they did it today, Pat, because before that, leading up to this show, yesterday and over the weekend, I'm thinking, what the hell are we going to talk about? It's just going to be the same stuff about who we wish that they had added and the spare parts and the bargain bin that is available in free agency left. But man alive, did they do a 180 and went from the only team that didn't sign a player that was not already on their roster to adding a wide receiver 1A to complement Courtland Sutton as a wide receiver 1B. And you can alternate those all you want. It's arbitrary. So Pat, talk us through it. Do you think this was a long time coming? Do you think this was something that they had in the works for a while? And more importantly, how does it affect our offense from an X's and O's standpoint, from an efficiency standpoint? Talk to us about Jaylen Waddle.
I've been praying for this day for a long time. I've been talking about this for a long time. How the Broncos needed, in order for this offense under Sean Payton to really come into its own, they have needed a Z receiver. And I had somebody today say, what what do you mean by like define a Z receiver to me? Well, a Z receiver is somebody who has great speed. They're your space creator. They're great at finding soft spots and zone. Great over the middle of the field, and can take the top off the defense. Right. Really snappy player. A really good route runner. And can block, but like that's not really what you're asking them to do. This is like your offensive weapon. And they draft Marvin Mims in the second round. Yeah, great, but he hasn't panned out to be a Z receiver. When I think of this guy, I think of someone like Brandon Cooks, right? Obviously had the big time speed, could take the top off the defense, but Brandon Cooks is a great route runner. Can operate underneath really well, can operate the sideline really well, can operate the middle of the field really well, can break tackles, yards after catch ability. All of these things you can find in Jaylen Waddle. And man, I am so happy that they pulled the trigger on this. I see a lot of people saying, oh, overpay. Oh, the price was too steep. Come on. We'll talk about that later, but I don't think it was at all. I think that this was a aggressive move to get a guy that fits what you are lacking in the offense. And now get ready, because this is going to be fireworks. This is going to be massive. One of the better deep ball pass catchers in the NFL. That's what we've needed, right? Someone who can violently create space and get open in short routes, intermediate routes, and even deep. Man, that was great. We pretty much traded a second and a fourth. I mean, whatever.
I think he's being tongue in cheek.
Yeah. He's
to the people who are saying
fine.
that it's an overpay.
And we'll we'll talk about that. But this is the exact player that the Broncos offense has been missing over the last couple of years. And I'm so elated. And not even that, but like there was all the talk about, bringing in a guy like Stephon Diggs last year, right? Like they were this close to bringing in Stephon Diggs. Now you get a guy who is a much better locker room fit as well. Kind of fits in with that same age range that you're working with. Obviously, he has the relationship with Pat Surtain and other guys in the locker room as well. This is the equivalent. And I know Robbie brought this up earlier on Twitter, and I just want to reiterate his point. This is the equivalent of the Broncos bringing in Emmanuel Sanders when they did. This is the and do you remember what happened when they brought Emmanuel Sanders in? The offense was already pretty good. But then it exploded. It got so much better because you had a guy that could get open. You had a guy that could win deep. You had a guy that was very sure-handed, even as a smaller receiver. You had Demaryius Thomas as your X. You had Emmanuel Sanders as your Z. Now you have Court as the X, Waddle as the Z. This is Gordon. This is poetry to my ears. I am so excited to watch this team finally hit that pinnacle that they've been looking for on the offensive side, because they've been so close. Now we're finally going to get to see what this offense is supposed to look like.
100%. And I want to address the asking price.
David.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think, Pat, like, I understand that there's never going to be any one move that 100% of the fan base is on board with. I mean, for God's sakes, when they signed Peyton Manning, before the days of like rampant Twitter fandom, Twitter was still around, in its infancy. Yep. And there were fans that were upset about the Peyton Manning signing because, well, what if he never plays? Like, Tim Tebow just won us a playoff game, and now we're going to replace Tim Tebow with Peyton Manning. That's a real thing. And I say that to convey the point. Yeah, I say that to convey the point that there's never going to be any one move that everybody is satisfied with, and that's okay. Yeah. But in terms of like a percentage, this is damn near a 100% hit in a lot of fans' minds. And I just want to clear the air because I know that there are very few, but there are some of you that think it was an overpay. And if you are listening to this and if you listen to anything that I have said, I have been adamant about this team specifically, or really any team that is in the Broncos position to trade a draft pick for a known commodity. And you need to look no further than the LA Rams. I think out of their last 10 draft picks, Pat, they've chosen one. They moved that piece. And here's why. The value of a first round pick, 85 to 90% of the time, the highest that pick will ever be valued is before the pick is made. And what I mean by that is you go look back, Jahdae Barron was the 20th overall pick, right?
Yeah.
You asked 31 other teams, and this is not a slight on Jahdae Barron, it's just an example. You asked 31 other teams, would you give us your first round pick this year for Jahdae Barron? You ask the teams that have picks 21 through 32. Hey, would you give us pick 21 for Jahdae Barron? Would you give us 26 for Jahdae Barron? Nobody would say yes. They are saying no.
Yeah.
The first round draft pick is a lot like a brand new car. And I said this earlier in a short form video that I did on YouTube and TikTok, and I'm going to reiterate it. A first round draft pick is like buying a brand new car. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it depreciates in value. That's exactly like a first round draft pick. You look at last year's first round, Pat, how many teams are trading anybody who was taken in the first round for an additional first round pick? There's maybe 4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
So you take that 30th pick and you have no idea what it is or what it can be, and you get a bona fide superstar wide receiver 1 in Jahdae Barron, and like you said, exactly what this offense needs. And to speak more about the move of Jaylen Waddle.
In Jaylen Waddle, you get you said Jahdae Barron was a wide receiver 1.
See? And now I saw our guest in the queue, and it threw off my brain.
Yeah.
You get a definitive piece in Jaylen Waddle, a wide receiver 1. And David, I'm sure we'll address this. Should Little Jordan move to tight end?
I am not going to address that comment. I'm not going to do it.
Thanks for watching, David. We're going to bring in a man known as Money Mike
or
Miami Mike, depending on where he is. Mike, I know that you're really good friends with Jaylen. You guys go way back. And so, of course, we had to have you on, Mike, to I guess if there are any non-believers out there when it comes to Jaylen, Pat talked about it a little bit before you joined, but I want to get your perspective. And even like as a personal friend of his, like maybe not just what he brings on the field, but like what does a guy like Jaylen bring to the locker room? What does he bring to the city of Denver? Like talk to us just about Jaylen the person more than Jaylen the football player.
Energy and just good energy is, it's anybody can use good energy. You're getting a good character guy, funny as hell. He fits right in with the culture, with the city. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy that we're here. We made it. Super Bowl. We're going to Super Bowl.
We've been manifesting this for
the
about
longest.
A year, Mike. So the fact that it's finally come to fruition, it feels good. Now, do you think that, because obviously everybody knows before they started beefing and decided that they were going to fight each other, that Pat and Jaylen were really good friends prior to all of that. Did Pat have anything to do with Jaylen and this trade and Jaylen coming to Denver?
He is the best defensive football player in the world for a reason, on and off the field. That's all I'm going to say. But for sure. Come on now. What do we think?
Got to listen to what he says. Right?
That's the defensive player of the year. When he says he wants something, and when Bo says he wants something, you do what they say. So shout out Sean. I know Sean is in Cabo right now. Drinking a Mai Tai, having a great time. He's lit. So shout out Sean.
We should all be lit right now.
We should be. Mike, Jaylen Waddle, explosive player. This is massive. And I said right before he came on, this is the equivalent of the Broncos getting Emmanuel Sanders when they did. Very similar type of players and the fact that they can create space and different things like that. Do you see this as that same type of move where a guy is so impactful to the offense that he will take them to a Super Bowl?
For sure. I mean, we have somebody that, Cortland is he's big body receiver, make plays, but now we have somebody that can, defense is fear. And that's just going to make Cortland so much better as well. So they just mesh together so well. And then you have Jaylen who could just take the top off of any defense. So we're putting fear in, defenders' hearts now. And we got Marvin too, and Pat Bryant. Like I said, honey, bust out the red panties. We're on the Super Bowl. We're on the Super Bowl.
Now, Mike, you didn't mention one guy there. You didn't mention one guy, and I'm interested. Troy. You didn't mention Troy. Now, I'm not going to speculate anything. But there's only so many spots that they will have on this team. Now, historically, there have been a couple times where Sean Payton has kept 6, even 7 wide receivers going into the season. I don't know if I see that happening, but do you think that this camp battle for that last wide receiver spot, do you think that's going to be one of the most heated position battles in the NFL?
Yes and no, but I mean, I'm still a huge Troy Franklin believer, though.
Absolutely.
So I still think he could produce. He can come in and, is there going to be some target share there for sure? But I mean, seeing him in camp last year, he looked like the best receiver on the field to me. So, to have somebody on the roster, I think he should make the roster. I mean, he should get touches. He should be, he's still a player, a very good, damn good player at that. So,
I will agree with you there. I think his jump from obviously his struggles as a rookie, learning the offense, you could kind of see at times he was a little confused, when he was lining up and in his assignment and stuff. But his last season looked a lot better.
For sure. He's Bo's guy, Yeah. He goes back to college. That's Bo's guy.
Relationship.
Yeah, for sure. You need Bo's guy on there,
Definitely. Mario.
Mike, we're gonna go to the comments, and I'll just pose this question to you.
Okay.
It's nothing crazy, Mike. Don't worry. Oh wait, no, wrong one. There we go. Do you guys think Denver should trade back into the first round, and who should they draft? I'll just say no. And I don't really care how it falls, because to me, again, with the valuation of first round draft picks, if they were to trade back into the first round, that means they're coming all the way up from 62 to 32 is the absolute latest that they can get back in there. Unless there's some sort of insane player that shouldn't have made it out of the top 10 that somehow falls to 32, maybe you make a call. But it would cost too much. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, I like where we sit right now. I mean, top to bottom. There's not a guy that, we need. I think offensively we're good. Defensively, we have the best defense in the world. So I think we're in a good position to get some depth, I think you can find that in the later rounds, in my opinion. But, if there's a guy who slips and falls late in the first round, I'm not opposed to it, Yeah.
I think the price tag would be quite a bit. I feel like the price tag might be a little hefty. But I think the possibility of them trading up in the second round, now that's something I could potentially see if it's for the right player. If there's a specific position, if they target linebacker and they want to get aggressive with that early, maybe they make a call. If they want to get a tackle that they really, really like, or a D lineman that they really, really like, who's falling, maybe I can see that as well. Probably not a major jump, though. We're talking 5 spots, if that.
And I'm in the notion, especially where we're at right now, excuse my French, but fuck them picks,
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. So if there's a player that we like, if there's a player that we like, fuck it, send it in. George,
absolutely.
Send it in.
Mike, why don't they just trade the rest of their draft picks to Miami for Devin Achane? I mean, you might as well go all in. They're cleaning house. Devin's there all alone. It's the end scene of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Achane's looking around like all of his buddies are gone.
I feel like that's Malik Willis right now.
Come on, join us in Denver.
Look, I'm in Miami right now, so I could 20 minutes down the street. Yo, what's up? We already made a deal today. What's up? Let's
call your agent.
Back to back.
Mike, you posted a picture on Twitter earlier, and you said the 4th guy's coming too soon. And it had a lot of people asking, people don't really know faces all that well. So if you can't, totally fine. But if you can, who was that 4th person?
Although I would like to keep it a mystery, it was Tyson Campbell
Oh,
So look, man, I like Riley, but
love Riley.
it's Tyson. It's Tyson. It's Tyson. That's
Well, they do. I mean, they got to add. To be fair, I feel like there's always an opportunity for you to add more talent to the room. We always kind of joke amongst our group chat that if they were to stay at number 30, they're probably taking a safety or a corner, right?
I love
it's just what
DBs.
they do. But, if you're going to add talent, the reality is we have to understand Riley Moss is coming up on a contract extension. You just spent a first-round pick on a corner, on a blue chip guy. You still have KAD for at least another season under contract. And
and I think he's a dog. He's a dog.
And you got to pay Jaquan. So it's nothing against Riley. Absolutely love him. I think he's one of the better corners in the NFL purely from his technique. But man, we can't pay everybody.
Right. And I think, like I said, I love KAD. A big fan of his. So
he could be a trade candidate too.
Like I said, we're going all in. Let's run it back. Riley's more than capable of, producing. So fuck it, let's run it back. That's where I'm at.
Let him play out the last year.
Right.
Let him play out the last year. Let's see how it goes.
There's no need to jump the gun and because I've heard people talk about if they're not going to re-sign Riley Moss, you might as well trade him and get something back for him. It's where they're at right now. They're clearly keeping the band back together. Okay, that's been their MO all off season, and then they pull off this move. They raise the floor, they raise the ceiling. They're not going to be getting rid of pieces that if it's not completely necessary. Now I know that they said that they have no interest. The reports from Luka Evans were that they have no interest in trading a Troy Franklin or trading a Marvin Mims. We'll see what happens because I remember a year ago, we were told how much they loved Devon Vele, and they traded him. And again, it's they probably didn't want to, and then they got an offer that they couldn't refuse from New Orleans. And so I'm sure, if GMs around the league are doing their homework, they see this trade, and they're like, okay, who do we want, Troy Franklin or Marvin Mims, right? I don't think that you're touching Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant, I think, is the heir apparent to Cortland Sutton here eventually. And Marvin Mims' contract is up next year. Troy Franklin is coming off of a career year, something that he might not ever replicate because now of the majority of the targets that he got, those are going to be going to a Jaylen Waddle. So maybe a team figures that. All I'm saying is, even though that's the report now, you can't assume that it's going to stay that way because again, they love Devon Vele, and then they somehow convince New Orleans to give them a 4th-round pick for a dude who will be 32 by the time he's ready for his second contract. Mike, before we let you go, obviously we know the wide receiver room now looks so different and so vastly improved. But you and I had discussed a little bit before this all happened about their lack of aggressiveness in free agency. We kind of agreed something's got to be coming. Something came. But I'm convinced that the job's not done yet. They've still got some pieces they need to replace. They've still got some positions that maybe could use some shoring up. And so if we're dealing with Mike the GM right now, what other moves do you think that you would make, or what are some calls that you would be making to continue to push this team to the next level?
Let's just get younger and more athletic. Let's get another linebacker in there. I'm cool with Alex and Justin. Cool with them.
They got to add someone.
We'll get just somebody else. We need somebody young, hungry, who's gonna get after it. So like I said, top to bottom, I'm cool with it.
Who would you say? I'm sure you talked to Pat quite a bit, but who is a defensive player right now in college that Pat likes coming out? Is there anyone in particular that he's like, ooh, I would love to have this guy on the squad?
Man, a defender.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of my head, I can't, but I can name one name for sure. The kid from Arizona State, Jordan Tyson. It's not a defensive player, but offensive player.
He's a dog.
Shit. He is amazing.
Mike, do you know why Jordan Tyson is so good? Because he started his collegiate career at the University of Colorado.
Really?
That's where he got his roots. Jeez. That's where he got his bearings. Yeah,
really?
And if you don't believe me, believe me, go look up and see where Christian Gonzalez started his college career.
I knew that. Shout out to the Buffs.
He's not a duck, Pat. I don't know.
I don't know what I don't know what the Buffs are doing this year, but go Buffs, you know?
Wow.
Go Buffs.
We're doing our best, Mike. That's what we're doing.
Yeah,
is our
that's
best.
it, and that's all that matters, you know?
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Mario, I really like these shades on you, by the way.
Thanks,
I really
man.
like those shades.
I knew that. I knew that you were joining us, and I knew we were gonna have a special guest, so I had to really show out. And
y'all the special guests. I'm
well,
just, you know, I just happen to be here, man. You know,
Mike, we appreciate you, dude.
Man, it's been a great day. It's been a great day.
Hey, I'll
been
give
a
you
really great day.
I'll give you a couple
I
names.
used to pray for days like this, Mike. We prayed for days like this.
Yo, Broncos country. If you got a wife, tell her bust out the red panties. We're going to LA. We're going to Super Bowl. You know, tell her, yo, wear that favorite dress I like. Let's go. Let's rock. Let's go to dinner. Jaylen Waddle just landed. What's up? That's, you know.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Is he officially here now? Like, he's getting his physical tomorrow, right?
I literally just talked to him. He said he's never heard of Lone Tree. He's never heard, you know, he doesn't know.
Recognized.
Yeah. You know, I told him I'll take him to Aurora, you know, so he's
don't
getting
take him
there.
to Aurora, Mike. Don't take
He's
him
good
to
with
Aurora,
me.
Mike.
He's good with me. He's good in the hood, you know. Shout out Rodney. That's my barber. You know, so, you know, we good in the hood. We're good in the hood.
Listen, Mike, you know, before all else, like, you get all that stuff situated, but you know, there's just one person that you got to make sure that he's linked in with to keep him on the field, and that's all I'm going to say. There's no self promo happening.
Shout
here.
out Mario.
We just want him. Shout
Absolutely.
out, just a little shout out, Mario, just a little bit.
Just a little,
Mike, thank you so much for joining us, man. In case you're just joining us, Money Mike, Miami Mike. Really good, close friends with Jaylen Waddle, so we wanted to bring him in and just kind of get a peek behind the curtain of like the kind of person and the kind of player that Jaylen is. Anything else before we let you go, Mike?
Man, just celebrate this one, you know, because Broncos are back and we're going to Super Bowl. That's all I got to say.
Woo.
I'd like to get the word out that we're back. Appreciate you, Mike, man. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you when you're back, bro.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, y'all.
Later. What a good dude. Dude, Pat's got to get on the phone. We need a linebacker in here. Now I'm fired up.
GM Pat and GM Bo. So in case you missed it,
did you catch that?
I pretty much just was. I mean, he said a lot. Like, what are you referring to?
When he said that Pat Surtain tells you to go for something, you go for it. When he tells you that Bo tells you to go for it, you go get it. Hey, man, we got ourselves a quarterback. I'm actually.
And here's the thing, man. Like, Pat, those are the two people on the team that could walk into George Payton's office, slap their nuts right on his desk, and say, "Go get me Jaylen Waddle." Now, here, the report was that they had made the call before the trade deadline, and that the price was too high. And so I don't know if it'll ever come out, like, the story of what actually went down. So here's my question, Pat. What if that was the price at the time? And you don't know where you're going to end up. Like, you don't know that you're going to have the 30th overall pick, and it's not necessarily going to be a premium pick. But you understand that you're probably picking somewhere in the 20s. So what I would want to know at some point, if it was too expensive then, like, what was the asking price then? Did it come down at all, or did it stay the same and it just got to the point where they realized after what happened in the AFC Championship game, like, okay, we need to pull the trigger? Because here's the other thing. If that was the original asking price, they basically wanted a first and a third, and then you just swap fours, and they didn't do that before the trade deadline. Now I'm a little bit salty, Pat. Now I'm just a little upset that they didn't do it sooner. But he's here now, and that's what's important.
I just don't know if it was like if it was considerably more, because the trade deadline was November 4th. Okay, so where were they on November 4th? They were 7-2. This is right after the Texans win.
So they're in the middle of their win streak. They are poised to be the number one seed, or at least, be one of the top.
I feel like
one of the top
you gotta
seeds.
be a little aggressive there. Like, like worst case scenario,
that's what I'm saying.
Jaylen Waddle, You go get Jaylen Waddle at this point in the season, and especially in some of those games, like, dude, we could have used Jaylen Waddle in the Jaguars game. We could have used a guy like Jaylen Waddle in the Commanders game. We could have used a guy like that in those closer games.
Yes,
but I'm wondering
you don't think that Jaylen Waddle would be the difference of 3 points in that Patriots game?
Oh, for sure. Even with Stidham in there. Stidham in there. Are you kidding me?
I want to take a time out really quick and pause.
In a snowstorm.
Fair. I want to take a time out really quick, and I want to pause because the legendary Joey Richards has taken time out of his incredibly busy schedule and his raucous lovemaking to tune in to Altitude Adjustment.
This one's for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, Joey Dix. We appreciate you. So here's the title, Pat, and we're going to address this. Okay. Jaylen Waddle's a Bronco, but Denver isn't done. And the reason that I wanted this title is because I want to believe that they're not done. So now the obvious answer to this question, and granted, it does kind of go against a little bit of what Mike said, where he wanted the younger talent. I think the name that needs to be at the top of the list now is David Njoku. I don't know what that price looks like. I don't know what that contract looks like, Pat. It feels like you can backload it a little bit. Like there are tight ends in this class that you and I like, kind of depending, like, do they want a big slot, like a pass catcher? Do they want more of an inline guy? There are dudes, but you bring in an Njoku, and then you can also draft one of these guys, like a Justin Jolly, for example, or a Michael Trigg, for example, who could be the heir apparent of Evan Ingram potentially. And there are some names out there, but you draft a guy. Tight end is an incredibly difficult position. These last couple seasons, notwithstanding, incredibly difficult position for a rookie to play. Because you're asking him to block professional edge rushers. You're asking him to get open against professional linebackers, professional safeties. And obviously, Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Brock Bowers, they were kind of exceptions to the rules. But I just want to illustrate like how rare it is for a rookie tight end to have that kind of an impact. So get a guy somewhere in the middle rounds. You bring in Njoku, even if it's just for a year, Pat. You're going all in right now. You have Bo Nix on his rookie salary still. This is when your window is open. And maybe they extend Bo next year. Bring in David Njoku. Raise the floor. That's where we're at right now. Like, anybody that you're bringing in, you need to raise the floor. Pat, they're going to have to find probably a depth safety because they lost a really good one in PJ Locke. Pat, they're going to have to figure out how to fill that JFM void because that is a much, much, much bigger void than I think people realize. And that is such a big void, Pat, that might start to expose our inside linebackers just a little bit. Then you take out a piece like JFM and your defensive line starts getting pushed back a little bit more and you don't get the same type of pressure that you were getting before. That affects the defense as a whole. Mm-hmm. So in addition to David Njoku, are there any names that are on your mind of like who you would like to bring in?
I mean, the most obvious one is Cam Jordan. That's the most obvious one. It just makes sense. Aging, but like is kind of getting closer to the end of his career. Should have gone hard at
Shout out Dak. Thank you, Dak.
Yes.
Waddle up, baby.
Dak,
Mile high salute.
Thank you so much.
You're the GOAT, Dak.
Wait, hang on. There we go. Should have gone hard at Chig. Yeah, absolutely. But like that's what kind of makes me think Njoku might not be it. Anyways, I'm getting off track. Cam Jordan. Aging, getting up there in his NFL career, has kind of said that he wants to. No, you can put him inside. You can definitely put him inside. Because and it's pretty much the same thing that they would have had last year. Obviously, JFM, super talented, super talented, but he didn't play a ton of snaps in both of his seasons in Denver. Like he played a good amount of snaps. But compared to when he was in New York, he played significantly less snaps every year that he was in Denver, but he was still productive. And that's the thing is they were able to rotate him really well. So you bring in a guy like Cam Jordan who doesn't need to play a ton of snaps, can literally just take those same snaps that JFM played, and you use Uwazurike, you use Savion Jones. You could probably put Cam Jordan off the edge if you wanted to, but you've got Dondre Tillman back. That's your big edge setter guy, right? They still have Jonah Ellis. I think in certain situations, you could absolutely use Cam Jordan outside, but put him inside. Let him wreak havoc in there. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for him to get one-on-ones because Zach Allen is still on that line. Benito's still outside. Cooper's still outside. Like they have to have as much beef and veteran NFL prowess on that line as possible. And he fucking loves Sean Payton. He would die for Sean Payton. That's his fucking guy. You talk about in a Super Bowl team, the best guys are the veteran guys who come in and they know how an NFL locker room works. They get it. Cam's been around these guys, so he understands. And that's the exact type of guy that you would want. He's not going to be selfish. He's not going to say like, "Oh, I'm not getting 500-600 snaps a year." Like, dude, he doesn't want to play that much. Like,
at this point, he just wants another Super Bowl.
It would be the same thing, like bringing in fucking Calais Campbell, like same type of deal. Like, dude is fucking.
Right, you know what? I would be okay with the Calais Campbell signing. Honest to God,
I would
bring him home to Colorado, baby.
He's he doesn't need to play every down. He doesn't need he will help bring along guys like Savion Jones and Uwazurike, who's still very young and still a very talented player. Bring in as much veteran leadership as you can on that front. Those are the guys that are going to do the dirty work and get it done. And I would have loved to have JFM here. Like Chiba says, dude, he got paid. Good for him. Good for him. You played less snaps.
This is why they knew they weren't bringing him back.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Great.
They knew they weren't bringing him back, and that's why.
And that's fine. And it sucks. He wanted to stay, and I get that, man. I totally understand. But fuck the money. It literally just comes down to the money. And I wish there was a way. I wish we could just turn the salary cap off because we've got fucking Walmart money, man.
Yeah.
Turn that setting off. Let's go.
Just make it all straight cash, homie.
Yeah.
Just straight cash. Here's an interesting name, Pat, that Chuck Hartman Music brings up. Brian Robinson.
Oh man. Why is he still unsigned?
And I think that you can have a Brian Robinson for relatively cheap. The fact that he's still on the market right now when there was a surge of running back signings. I mean, what do you think? Maybe a 2-year kind of $3 or $4 million a year, if that.
Dude, all of their deals,
and he comes in and Cody points out the B-Rob, I think, is a sleeper good pick. Instantly, RB3. Won't panic if something happens to the running back room. And this is kind of where I'm at. And look, Pat, we've discussed this.
Cody.
Okay, when it comes to the running back room, this is what we've discussed. We loved the J.K. Dobbins signing last year. But in the back of our heads, we're like, how long do you get him for? And what's going to happen if and when he gets hurt? And I feel like history is repeating itself. And to be fair, I expect RJ Harvey to be a better running back next year than he was last year. Of course, he's going to improve. But again, he and JK are different kinds of backs. JK is different from every back that's currently on the roster. And I would much rather them sign Brian Robinson to a cheap deal for, a guy that knows how to play the running back position, doesn't have any has stayed relatively healthy for the majority of his career. There's not a lot of tread left on the tires. Sign him as an insurance policy, Pat. And then if you address it in the draft and you you draft a Mike Washington Jr. or an Adam Randall late or somebody that is a similar type of running back to J.K. Dobbins and less similar to R.J. Harvey, which is what they have. That's Bidet, that's McLaughlin, that's Cody Schrader, that's Deuce Vaughn. They're all kind of that same prototype. You need a big body dude to just go bang around there in the fourth quarter, then wear guys out where an arm tackle is not going to bring them down. That's Brian Robinson. I would love that signing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need a
Whoa,
downhill.
whoa.
Yeah.
So not only were we joined by Joey Richards, but now the gabagool himself,
the
Jacob
mock draft Paisan
Romano. How's it going, my fellow Italians? We're doing much better now that you're here, you little cannoli.
I want to see, dude. And here's the thing: we even in our offseason episode, we brought back J.K. Dobbins. We brought him back.
Yeah, we did.
And then the thing that just blew my mind, though, like, dude, I mentioned this in tomorrow's episode of Believe in Broncos, but like, you didn't even kick the tires on Algier. You didn't even knock on the door. You stuck for $6 million.
I had just gotten over that, and now I'm mad about it again, Pat.
But like, I fully expected them to bring back JK. I still feel like, even with the day, like, you're literally running back you're running it back. There's no way they don't add another body, and they have to get somebody who I feel like is a veteran. Like, I still feel like they should get a veteran. It's a long shot at this point. Like, you have your second round pick, and then you have to wait so long until your next pick. The backs that, like, Washington is probably going to be gone unless he's there at 62 and you want to take him at 62. He probably won't be there. Price is probably gone. 62. That's what I was kind of alluding to with Mike, was like, maybe they trade up if Price is available, but then how do you justify trading up more, right? But you got to be aggressive. So a guy like Brian Robinson would fit perfectly. He, like, if something does happen to JK, which we pray does not, then you have a guy that has experience, who has played in a wide zone system multiple times. Like, it fits, right? But he's a good, powerful downhill runner. I would love to see them get another guy like that. Yeah, dude. Exactly.
Right here, dude. like Tyler Algier, what is you doing, baby? You're going to Arizona.
That man needs to be starting in the NFL now. Now. Thank you.
Behind that Glenn. Arizona offensive line, that is such a bummer. First of all, Glenn, this is a compliment, okay? Because Pedro Pascal is daddy. So this is a weird way for Glenn Hauser to admit that Mario Vitanzi is daddy. Thank you, Glenn.
Marky brings up Marky. Yes.
Really quick. Hey, fellas, first time watching from Omaha, Nebraska. Marcus, what's up, man? Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you, man. First of all, glad that you're here. Second of all, I know this is your first time. You will be back, because as you will see very quickly, depending on how long you've been here, this is the best Broncos show. Or the worst. Depending on your personal style. Like, if you like people to just show up and say, this is what we're going to talk about, and then they talk about it and they're like, join us next week when we talk about this, and here's 18 of our sponsors. If you like that, then this is not the show for you. But if you like chaos, Marcus, and you like people that are going to give it to you straight, that have the hottest takes in the business, then you're in the right place. Shout out Marcus Smith. First time. Sorry, what were you talking about, Marky? Okay. Trade back is a move that makes sense in this draft.
Yes.
Agreed.
And then his next one. The next comment from Marky. Sign Brian Robinson, and then don't feel you need to reach in the draft. You'd be set.
Yes.
Now, this is an interesting one, because if a guy does fall that they like in the mid rounds or later rounds, I mean, you brought back Jaleel on nothing. Like, that's, if you want to move on from him, you can, but you're giving him
same with Bidet.
To compete. Same with Bidet, right? But you're going to look for depth. If the right guy does fall, I mean, you can still cut one of those bodies. Bring the guy along, right? Sean Payton is not afraid to use more than one back in the same personnel setting. Like, he's going to utilize guys, and you're going to have to get reps on special teams. I'm so over Jaleel and Bidet. Yeah, I will say Bidet's value. I feel like Bidet's value is more so because of the special teams that he plays.
And the blocking.
Yes.
He's good in pass pro.
Try to find somebody else. Like, try to find, because as we pointed out, there was a miscommunication. Like, there's still things, there's still gaffes, right? I'm not saying that it wouldn't happen with a rookie, but maybe you can find a guy that is a better listener, is more capable of doing your job than you are, is younger, is more athletic. Whatever the case may be, there's always going to be a guy, but we're going to give you a chance to compete. So,
yeah. Which Pat, do you like Dominic?
I know he's large. I know he is large. I know he is large, and he can generate some pressure.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, that's a large.
And another name that I really like, as long as we're talking about, and this might be a little bit later. I don't know where your evaluation is on him, but Chris McClellan out of Mizzou is another defensive lineman that could potentially kind of be that JFM replacement. And here's the thing, man. Like, we're getting to the point now where projections, like draft projections, they're arbitrary. They're stupid. We have no idea. Outside of Mendoza, really, who's going to go first overall, we have no idea who's going to go where. I like Chris McClellan. And if Dominique Orange is in there, I'm fine with taking McClellan at 68. Or 4. Where are we picking? 64, 68, don't matter. Draft McClellan. Here's one of your guys, Pat. Michael Trigg.
One of my guys, no. Do I like him?
You just took him in a mock, Pat.
Okay. I still like his skill. I wouldn't say that I love him. I think that it's intriguing because if you look at the history of Sean Payton and what he's looked for, you've got Ingram for one more season. I feel like if they were going to keep him, they maybe would have given him a year extension. I don't know. But if you're looking for another guy and you're looking to upgrade the tight end room, which I feel like he always is. He had Lucas Kroll last year, still took Caleb Lohner in the 7th round, which he's with Donald Driver. Why is he not working with Jimmy Graham? The fuck are we doing?
Like, TW.
Hold on. What are we doing here?
We can't find better TW. If we can't find better running backs than Jaleel and Bidet this year, TW. They just traded for Jaylen Waddle. That's not enough for you right now. Like, if you want to be upset, like, listen, you can be upset if they don't find better running backs than Jaleel and Bidet. That's justifiable. But you want to give him the belt for that? For that, because he doesn't find a better RB4? TW, my brother in Christ, I know you're not a Peyton fan, and I've already yelled at you about this.
Okay.
So I'm not going to yell again. I'm going to stay calm. He doesn't need the belt for this.
Marky has.
Sorry, TW. Thank you for watching. Marky, shout out for the super chat. Thank you so much. Pat, you're either going to love this idea or scold Marky, but I'm here for it. Tell me why transitioning little Jordan Humphrey to tight end wouldn't be a very smart move. He works on Madden, Pat. He's a better tight end than receiver in Madden, Pat.
For me, it's just the inline stuff. I like the way that they use LJH. I have no complaints. I think it's perfect. He can be an effective receiver outside, not the best receiver, but man, on quick screens, on bubble screens, he's a guy that's great after the catch. But then when you call the same play for another player, he's also going to block his fucking ass off on the perimeter. And that's what they need because Ingram can't do that shit outside. Troutman is not a very good blocker on the perimeter. Don't even get me started on that. I just think that the way that they use him is fine. And I think we all get so arbitrary on, oh, this guy is this position and this guy is this position. I'm starting to wonder if Sean Payton just does not label them in such a way because LJ probably does do work with the tight ends sometimes during practice. He probably spends the majority of his time with the wide receivers. He's on special teams. Like Yeah, he has the build. He's a big dude, but like, man, if you're gonna use him like that, the way that they're using him is fine. And he can be a semi-reliable receiver downfield, especially if you need downfield threats. He's a fine player. He's not the best player, but he's a guy that you want in his fucking locker room. I'll tell you that right now.
I'll let you answer this first, Pat, and then I'll have at it. What did you think about Troutman basically calling himself an elite tight end?
I choked on my water, dude. That's what happened. I legitimately choked on my water because I was like, this was my actual reaction. Okay, here I am. Is he fucking gaslighting me right now? Is he gaslighting me right now? I'm one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL, brother.
He can do it all.
Back to the sled. Okay, I need at least 200 more reps. Adam, come on, dog. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're not the best blocker in the NFL, but you're fine.
He's fine. He's a good pass blocker, and he's
a good
average run blocker.
You are a good pass blocker.
He's a really good pass blocker.
You're a good pass blocker, but brother,
chill. Come on, just chill, man.
Hey, do me a favor, Adam.
He's over here talking. He's over here talking like he's Cole Kmet.
Palms up, thumbs up. Okay, get on that sled, get a wide base, and push that bitch around for me. At least 600 yards, please.
I'd like to point out now in the chat is the man himself who bullied this franchise into making a move. Respect, Mike goes. Thanks for coming, man. Mike, appreciate you always tuning in. And that's actually a factual statement.
Imagine not having Jaylen Waddle
severely. Respect my co's Mikey severely bullied the Broncos front office so relentlessly. They're like, I can't take this anymore. We have to do something, and we missed out on all of the free agents. Respect my co said we need to do this. What can we do? Who did Pat Watt? Who did Surtain and Bo Waddle? Just give Miami what they want. For God's sakes, I can't take any more of this. So shout out, respect my co's for basically being the reason that we have Jaylen Waddle. Way to go, Mikey.
Insane.
Mikey gave me that profile pickup after the trade is hilarious. In case you just take a look at this.
Dude, if I hear we like the room one more time,
because if this may all come full circle, because Denver isn't done yet. This is a good first step, George Payton. But if you want, there it is, right here. If you want this changed from Mikey, you got to do a little bit more. Can't be done yet. You got to do a little bit more.
Mario, I wanted to bring back up the Njoku thing. I personally would love to have Njoku. I always figured they were going to bring Troutman back because for some fucking reason, Sean loves him and he knows the offense. I'll give him that. But I always had it in my mind that they were going to sign someone else to bring into that room. And then they broke my fucking heart because they brought back Lucas Kroll. Now, no offense to Lucas Kroll, the human, but this is going to be, I feel like this is going to be like the last shot. Like, you're going to go into camp. Sean's going to tell you, hey, you're battling for a position. That's it. I still felt like they were going to bring someone else in.
Look at what
the offense, and I suck at football. Dude, his agent must have said something that set Sean Payton off. Because if he went in there demanding,
like you can't turn Adam Troutman into a viable option, and Sean Payton was like, bet.
But see, I don't think Lucas Kroll fits the mold of what they need either. They need a good inline Y tight end. Because
this is the most Mikey thing I've ever seen. Mikey dunked on Kroll on 2K.
That's wild.
The admin of Sleeper Broncos would love to have the tight end from the U.
David Njoku. And I would as well. I think, how do you justify spending? I mean, whatever cap room they have left, I'm not sure what the figure is at this point. I was just looking at his last contract, and I think his cap hit was like 14 million last year. At this point, though, like we're kind of into that, starting to get into that second wave of the free agency period, and maybe they're waiting for the price to fall. Maybe they're okay. We got 19 million. I feel like that's more than enough then, because but maybe they're waiting to get in that $9 million area. And if they want to sign Cam Jordan, how much is Cam Jordan realistically going to cost you? I feel like they could get him on a super cheap deal, because it's the lure of, hey, we've got this great team. You can fucking win a ring with us. We'll give you all these bonuses. Like, I feel like Sean could kind of work some magic and get that deal down. So if we have 19 mil, if you can give Njoku like a 2-year, like 10 and put incentive into it, maybe you can get him. Because he's 30, gonna be 30.
Since we already said fuck those picks, Cody brings up a name that I really like, and maybe it wouldn't even cost this much, but send that second for a commit.
Ooh,
fuck those picks. I really like Cole Kmet. Not because he's a superstar tight end, not because he's one of the best tight ends in the league, but because he is a really damn good inline blocker, and he is an exceptional pass catcher when he's asked to do so. So I'd like to let it be known that the couple years before they took Colston Loveland, the Bears' offense was a mess. Eberflus had no idea what he was doing. He made Caleb Williams, who is probably the most physically gifted quarterback, or one of the 3 most physically gifted quarterbacks in the NFL, made him look like a bum. You enter Ben Johnson, and I don't know how realistic it is, because Ben Johnson likes to have 2 good receiving tight ends. But maybe if they're trying to clear some cap room, like if they need to be able to afford a Max Crosby in a trade, maybe that's a consideration that they make. I would at least call about it. I love Cole Kmet. I think he's exactly the type of tight end that this team needs. And again, if we're talking about draft picks, Pat, let's say it is a 2nd-round pick. Do you think that there is a tight end that can be had in this draft who would have the immediate impact as a Cole Kmet that you could take with the 2nd-round pick?
I mean, not off the top of my head, man. That's the thing. I don't want Eli Stowers. I'm not bought in on it. I just I'd rather them wait to the 4th and grab
Dad Dean, and Dad Dean, we appreciate you watching. I've been seeing your comments. It's a lot. I know you're a Dolphins fan, and I appreciate you. Waller is available. Polite no.
Eli Raridorn in the 2nd round, I think a lot of people will balk.
Cody wants to know what's wrong with Stowers. You want to take this one, Pat? Nothing's wrong with him. It's not what they need.
It depends on what you're looking for. Like, if they're looking to get somebody who's more of a receiver threat and isn't an efficient inline blocker, sure. I guess, but I don't know. There's just a lot going on there. I feel like they need to take somebody who is a better, more traditional Y. And I just feel like 2nd round, I don't know. I don't see it. I give me Sam Roosh in the 4th round if he's available, I guess. There are some pretty good blockers. I mean, if the mock drafts are correct, yeah, Roosh in the 4th rounders. Exactly. Because he's just he's not a super he's not a super big receiver. He can be, but it's fine. But the blocking is what you want. Yes, you want a guy that can play. So here's my theory. Go. it, and I said this on the Believe show with Bree. I feel like Sean Payton watched a lot of Rams. He loves watching the Rams play because he loves him some fucking Sean McVay, right? And he has this vision. Davis Webb, new play caller. He's still, Sean's still going to have the control that he has. He's going to want this offense to have similar run fits that the Rams have. And the Rams really succeeded using 3 tight end sets and a really, really strong inside, who's a guy who's basically going to run block just as well as a flex tackle would, right? You get someone like that, and that opens up so many more opportunities because then you can have your tight end, your wing guy in there who's a capable blocker, like not the best blocker. So like an Adam Troutman.
He's willing. We say it's willing. He's a willing blocker.
But like he can get open sometimes. You can use him. And then you have your Evan Ingram, who's more of the receiver threat, but like on stretch plays, it'd be really good to use him to get outside and run a wheel. You can use him on the opposite side and, run post with him. The play action stuff is there.
Are you ready to get upset, Pat?
Damn.
I love me some Charlie Kolar, man.
But I think
continue.
that is the goal. So Justin Jolly is another guy that is a really good. I see Oscar Delp. He's kind of got that same type of deal. He could develop into something, but he's really good at blocking right now. And he's really capable. So you can use him in those situations and train him up, right? To be because Sean fucking loves to use tight ends in the pass game. He fucking loves it. So Raridan would be awesome. I think he's going to go a lot higher, and he has had 2 knee injuries, which scares me quite a bit.
Very, man. Yep.
It's pretty scary, but he is very, 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 very good. So I don't know. I feel like fourth, 5th round tight end is on the way. Running back that they could take in the late rounds. Are you ready for this? You're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Noah Whittington from Oregon. Not even kidding. If they could get him,
a big boy, right?
Dude, downhill runner. Just does not care. Wouldn't be surprised. Bow connection too. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm more of I get it. I'm more of an Adam Randall guy late in the draft.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm okay with a couple more ducks on this team.
The Navy kid, Eli, whatever his name is, Heidenbach, I think is his name.
Heidenreich.
That dude can ball. He can play. That's a fun like Taysom Hill.
He's very much like a Sean Payton kind of chess piece. And what's so funny? Like I think PFF still has him listed as a fullback, which is funny. Yeah. It's like I feel like that technically play fullback, but it's like in the Navy offense, it's like he's running the football. Like he's a running back, even though they have him listed as a fullback. But he's also a really good receiver. Can he throw? Do we know?
I wouldn't be fucking surprised. I wouldn't be shocked.
What if he's just a football player?
I wouldn't be.
That's a guy that you take a 7th round dart throw on because he's a military kid and he's a fun watch. If you're watching and you haven't watched some Eli Heidenreich, that dude is just a fun ass football player, and he really feels like he would fit a Sean Payton mold.
It's a joker right there.
I feel really good about this, but I also feel confident that they will be. They're not done. They will be making more moves. I don't think there's going to be another trade. As much as I would be on board, honestly, I'd trade all the picks. I don't care. Go get Kmet with the 2nd. What if what?
What if we traded a player soon?
Well, they like the room.
They love the room.
They like the room, Pat. They like the room. David says that Eli Heidenreich can throw. Of course, I'm already on board now. I'm completely fully on board. And this is a fun name too. I was going to bring him up. Taylor Green would be a fun That's a fun name. And I was going to ask you because someone said earlier Cole Payton, and I like Cole Payton. But I can absolutely be talked into Taylor Green as a fun little chess piece, as like a as like a hybrid type of like just a good ass football player.
That's a lot of speed, man. That's a lot of speed. Cole Payton,
a little bit of a track team out here.
Those Waddle and Nick okay.
Fravel edits. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Those Waddle and Nick Sellies are going to go crazy. We not done though. That's right. Trade up for Jadarian Price. Draft Jacob Rodriguez. Sign Cam Jordan. Njoku. We move. We move. I love that. Thank you so much for that again, Fravel edits. We appreciate you watching. Appreciate the super chat. I love the energy.
How would we get both? That would be tough, but that's pretty crazy. I fully believe Cam Jordan will be a Bronco, maybe even before the draft. Who knows? Njoku.
I mean, at some point, I don't think that they're in a hurry. Certainly, like I think this will feel like a J.K. Dobbins, and Sean's probably like, "Hey, let us get through this draft process and figure out exactly how much money we have after this class." And 1 year, man. Let's get it done. Get the band back together.
They don't have a first round pick, so the value
they got a lot more. They got a lot more room compared to in terms of like how much money they need to set aside for the draft class. They have considerably more to work with now. And yeah, anything else before we wrap, Pat? Any final thoughts?
No, I think I just want to say thank you to George and Sean for getting this done. The offense is finally going to be fun to watch again. And he 40 drop passes. You got to raise the standard. You have to. At the end of the day, if you want to win football games and you want to be dominant, go be aggressive. And you went and you
second in the league in drops, Pat. It had to happen.
Tied for first.
Oh, they were. Wow.
Yes.
Well done, boys.
So you fired the wide receiver coach. You brought in a new one. Show us the work that you've done. Show us that you're serious, and let's go fucking win a Super Bowl, dude.
Let's go win a fucking
your window
Super
is now.
Bowl.
This is being aggressive. Fuck it. He's in Cabo right now, lit. Sean, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Oh, he lit now, yeah.
He's. We won't
that
say
boy perked up
lit
right now.
And you know what?
Allegedly.
You know what? Good for him. Good for him.
Great for him. He deserved it. He deserves it now. He didn't deserve to enjoy it until this morning. Now he deserves it. Before we get out of here, shout out to David Talks Broncos, Denver Dean Marky Sports, and Fravel Edits for the super chats. We appreciate you all. Thank you all so much. Marky, I just want to point out your super chat was the lowest amount. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Times are hard out here, man.
That out, but thanks anyway.
We're at war right now.
No, it's but it's okay. I just wanted him to make sure that he knew for next time. Pat, go ahead and plug your incredible show that you do with the incomparable Bree Maestas. Where can we watch Believe in the Broncos to see your handsome face even more?
Anywhere that you can download podcasts and on YouTube on the Believe Network.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Pat. I'm so glad that you're back. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for engaging. The chat was lit tonight. So much more positive and just good vibey.
Broncos
I got
country
no
is
other
happy.
words. The vibes were unbelievable. They were immaculate tonight. A staunch difference from what I had to deal with last time. Marky, last time I gave a super chat, Pat reminded me of my mental insufficiencies. So we started at the bottom. Damn, Pat.
I'm sorry.
And Marcus
From the bottom of
points out,
my heart,
Marcus,
I'm sorry.
excellent point, Marcus. Most drops, still one win away from the Super Bowl.
Cam Jordan,
Absolutely fantastic.
David. I'm telling you right now,
Coach, we gave you your props. How did we do tonight, Coach?
Gosh, your own little internet shows are driving me crazy.
Fuck every time.
You drove us crazy for weeks. And just for that, Coach, you know what I'm going to say? This move for Jaylen Waddle, it was all George Payton. Sean Payton wanted to put the kibosh on it, and George made it happen.
Sean,
Payton, you
get a mango tango.
Genius.
Tahini rim and a shot of 1942 on me. Enjoy, Cabo, sir. Get us out of here.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Why was this show? Why is this show so good? Why is this show so good, Matt?
Because you don't just have two stars. That's a planet. You got two planets.
I have my own orbit.
Two stars, you have two planets. Mario Vitanzi, Patrick Chiotti, altitude adjustment. This is the best show in my opinion. Thank you all for watching. We love you. I will see you all next week. Goodbye.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up.